It's Ellen, and welcome to Crazy for You. In the newsletter this morning, I talked about gift knitting and buying hand knit gifts. If you didn't have a chance to see the newsletter, that's what the article is about, how nice it is to give hand knit things that you've made yourself for your friends and your loved ones. But sometimes it just comes down to time. How much time do you really have to do those things? So it was sort of a lead in to the discussion about the fact that we are having this wonderful sample sale. So I'm super excited about that. And I got a lot of really, really nice comments in about the email this morning, and I wanted to share one of them with you. And it was from Lori Rayleigh. And she said, "Good morning, Ellen. I love the idea of selling the sample garments. I remember a long time ago when Joann was more of a sewing store and they had sample garments in the store. The garments had large tags on them with the price and a for sale after X date. So if a person was interested in a particular garment, they signed up on a sheet on the counter. I signed up for a Daisy Kingdom dress." So I wasn't familiar with what a Daisy Kingdom dress was, so I had to look it up, but you might remember. She says, "Do you remember those? Big, fluffy ruffles, petticoats, beautiful colors and designs. I was number 3 or 4 on the list, and I didn't think I had a chance, but I did get the call. The people ahead of me had changed their mind. I bought that dress for my youngest daughter. It was too large at the time, but it was her favorite dress. She wore it every chance she got. It was handmade, not by me, but still a favorite memory. Definitely a great idea to sell those items." So I love that. I love that kind of validation from someone. So if you don't know Lori, she's a wonderful seamstress. And so she knows about sewing, and she probably could easily have made that dress, but it was still a lovely, lovely thing, handmade with love and care that she was able to give her daughter. So if time is pressing on you and you are interested in getting some of our beautiful samples, either as a gift for somebody you love, or maybe just as a treat for yourself, I encourage you to come on First Friday, which is November, I think it's November 6th. We'll be starting the sample sale then, and they're all wonderful garments. So I think you'll really enjoy those. Hi, B. Thank you for joining us. It's nice to see you. So what I wanted to talk about today, in addition to just kind of giving you the background on the trunk, not the trunk show, but the sample sale, is sort of how long does it take to make a thing? I tend to be a super exuberant optimist. I think that's why I'm late all the time, because I always think I can get more done in less time. And I can't, of course. But I pretend that I can, or I imagine that I can. So one of the things to sort of think about if you're knitting is, how long does it actually take you to make a thing? And those are all subjective, right? It depends on a lot of things. It depends on how fast you knit. It depends on what you're knitting. Is it very complicated? Does it demand a tremendous amount of time and attention? What size needles are you on? But you can sort of look at that. So what I did is I took a yard of yarn. So I'm working on this beautiful sweater. You can't see it because it's black. Yes, I know nobody knits black yarn except me. But this is such a beautiful cashmere blend. It's the Juniper Moon Celestina. And I really wanted a sweater in this, and I wanted a black sweater, so I'm knitting one. Anyway, I took a yard of yarn. There's my dog. Sorry. I took a yard of yarn and I measured it out. And I tied a little slip knot in it. And then I set my stopwatch. And I wanted to see how long, Malcolm, thank you, how long it would take my daughter to the rescue. She just took the dog outside. Because when the doorbell rings, it's a crisis. The dog just goes insane. Anyway, so I took a yard of yarn. I just measured it out, not very precisely, just, okay, so here's a yard. And I put a little slip knot in it. And then I knit. I set my stopwatch and I knit. And I didn't try to knit really fast. It was just sort of knitting like I normally do. And I wanted to see how long it took me to knit a yard of yarn. So it took me almost exactly 2 minutes to knit a yard of yarn. So, you do the math on that. So if you're making a hat for someone in a worsted weight yarn, and it takes you 2 minutes to knit 1 yard, then I did this math. Let's see, 2 times 200 is 400 minutes. Divide that by 60 minutes. Okay, so it's going to take about 6.5 hours to knit that hat. You don't think about, how long it actually does take. Now, of course, if you're knitting with super chunky yarn, it's going to go much, much more quickly. Maybe half that time. Maybe it would take you a minute to consume a yard of a super bulky or a bulky yarn. If you're making socks, if you knit socks or you knit super fine things on size 1 or 2 needles, then it takes a substantially larger amount of time to knit a yard of yarn. So kind of if you're thinking about making things for people, you want to sort of budget your time. You want to think about how long it's going to take you to complete that thing. The good news is that if you have 2 minutes, you can knit up a yard of yarn. So if you have your project sort of with you all the time, then those free 2 minutes while you're standing there waiting for the water to boil for your tea, you can knit a yard of yarn. And it really does sort of chip away at it. But my point is that you don't want to be overly optimistic about how much or how little time it's going to take you to complete a thing. It looks like I'm sort of going in and out. I have to check my internet. I had this problem with a meeting that I had on Monday morning. So I'm not sure whether it's my provider or where I'm located in the house, but anyway, so I have had some comments. So let's have a look at those. All right. Yes, Terry. Okay. All right, let's see what B has to say. That's not showing. Yes. Lacking inspiration. Okay, so if you're lacking inspiration on what kind of gifts to make and things that you can knit up relatively quickly, be sure to join me tomorrow night where I'll be going over some of my favorite gift knitting ideas. And Terry loves the idea of selling samples. So yes, I know you'll be there to see what we have and maybe get some fun gifts. Hey, Gwen, nice to see you. Oh, thanks, Connie. Clever idea to measure the time that it takes to knit. I think that it's sort of fun, yeah. And of course, if you are Ginny Stein, you probably knit more quickly. Or, if you knit super bulky things, that'll go much faster. Gwen. Yes, I finished my vest. I'm so happy. This is the gilet from Rowan Mode in the soft boucle. I like it. It's a very, very fun, very cozy. My daughter Katie is home for a bit from Chicago before she goes off to South America for the Thanksgiving holiday. That girl, I swear, she has a glamorous life that I never had at that age. Anyway, so she helped me figure out what to put with this and how to style it. So I'm happy. I'm happy with it. And it was, like I said, it's fun to knit. And not as quick as you might think, but, quick enough. I knitted in a couple weeks. Let's see. Yay. So Lori, did you see that I read your email to me? That was so sweet. I really do appreciate that little sharing of reminiscence with me. Let's see, what else did I want to say? Fun stuff coming up in addition to tomorrow night when I'll be doing the showcase of gift knitting patterns and ideas. The following week, I will have the Noro trunk show. And I'm super excited to tell you that I'm going to be doing Vogue Knitting Live for the first time. I have never done it. I sort of thought that I would do it in January 2021 or one of those, but I never actually signed up for it. And then I was really honored to have the company that distributes Noro in the United States, Knitting Fever, sponsor me to do that. So I'm very, very excited to represent Noro at Vogue Knitting Live on Saturday and Sunday, November 14th and 15th. So I have a slot on that Saturday, the 14th, from 10 to 11, and then I have 3 slots on Sunday, 11 to 12, 12 to 1, and 1 to 2. And I'll be doing a different at each. I'll be doing a different thing at each of those time slots. So I'll also put a Facebook event out for those so that you can see. So I don't know if any of you have ever attended a Vogue Knitting Live event, either in person or now that they've gone virtually. Let me know in the comments if you've ever been to Vogue Knitting Live. I would be interested in hearing what your thoughts are on that. But I think that's going to be a very fun and new experience for me. Everything is a new experience these days, it seems. And yeah, so let's see. What else did I want to tell you about today? Oh, we are also featuring one of these Wednesdays. I'll have to start putting that stuff out. We have a beautiful collection of Katya yarns in the shop right now. So Ginny Stein just knit up an adorable hat in Katya merino cotton craft, which is a beautiful self-striping, kind of very subtly dyed, one of those very soft tube yarns. This cute little hat with these amazing pom-poms. And I'll be putting those out in the newsletter because those are they're just under 200 yards. So you could definitely knit one of those in just, over a weekend. How about that? If you had a weekend, you could easily knit one of those little hats up and have that for a fun gift for somebody special. So those are the things that are going on. If you have any questions or any comments, let's see. We have some comments here. So it sounds exciting. Yay! Oh, and Risa, let's see, says she would love to see that hat. Okay, well, I'm going to be putting the hat out in the newsletter, probably on Facebook, have some little kits together because the pom-poms come in like 16 colors and they're so cute. And Ginny and I were looking at them. It's almost like every single color of this yarn goes with every single pom-pom. So what I find is that it's super fun to pick your yarn and then pick the color of whatever coordinating thing, like whether it's a pom-pom or another yarn, to kind of go with it. That way it makes it your own, so we have like 6 colors of the yarn and 16 colors of the pom-pom. It's just endless combinations. So cute. And I think it uses like a skein and a half. So if you got 3 skeins, you could make 2 hats out of it. So that's really fun. And then get different colored pom-poms and they would look completely different. So that's a fun thing to do. Yay. Let's see. Ginny said, okay, so the hat took Ginny 5 hours max, right? So that's about let's see, 5 hours. And it was about 150 yards, was it, Ginny? So Ginny must knit way faster than I do, which is not surprising. She's pretty fast. But yeah, quick to make and fun to make. You're going in the round and you're on like a size 7 needle. So worsted weight. So I think, 5 hours, if you're a slower knitter or you have, you get distracted or whatever, even if it took you 10 hours, that would be, a few evenings in front of the television and maybe a little bit at lunchtime and some while you're having your morning coffee and boom, then you have it. And I mention it now because it's relatively early. We're still 2 months away from Christmas. So there are lots of fun things that you can do. And if you would like to also get a hand knit gift that you didn't knit yourself, make sure that you come by the shop that weekend that we are doing that. That's first Friday, November 6th. So that is what I have for you today on Lunchtime Lessons, about how to estimate how long it will take you to make a thing, and just some news about what's going in the shop. So thanks so much for joining me, and I'm going to head over to the shop right now because we have a customer doing a custom fit. So I'm super excited about that. So thanks for joining me, and I'll see you tomorrow night. Bye-bye.